Welcome! Today we are going to make favorite Dutch apple pie. It is from Taste of Home and it's one of the best apple pies that you're going to ever make. So tasty. There's a trick coming, so I will show you once we get started. Okay, so I have already sliced up my apples. I've sliced them pretty thin because if you get them too thick, then it takes too long for them to cook. And then you'll bite into a piece of apple pie and you'll have that hard apple. I like soft apples in my apple pie, so that's why I like to cut them thin so they cook better. So that's already prepared. The first thing I'm going to do is to prepare the crumble that goes on top. So it's going to take 2 cups of flour. So I'm getting my 2 cups. I'm almost out of flour, but I want to make sure that I use up everything in here before I put the new stuff in. So that's 1.5 cups. So I just need a half more. And I've already opened, look at me thinking ahead. So I've already opened the bag. So I just need a half more. And there we go. And I will dump this into my container later. Then I need 1 cup of brown sugar. It doesn't matter if it is light brown or dark brown. So I have actually gone with the light brown. Now, remember when you do this, I like to keep it in the bag. You'll notice I keep it in a Tupperware bowl, and I like to keep it in the bag so that when I'm getting my brown sugar, I don't have to get my hands dirty, because you really want to pack it in there. So it's packed in my cup. And I just use, the bag to help me with that so my fingers don't get all messy when packing. The next thing I need is 1/2 cup of quick cooking oats. So get your quick cooking oats, 1/2 cup, dump that in. And then I need 3/4 cup of butter that's been melted. So I've already melted my butter. What I just did is I cut up my butter, put it in my measuring cup, and then I microwaved it. That's the easiest way. For 3/4, it took, I think I put it in for 45 seconds, 45 seconds on my microwave, and it came out perfectly. So now I have the flour, the brown sugar, the quick cooking oats, and my melted butter. And I'm gonna mix this all up in my bowl. And this is going to be the crumble that's gonna go on top of your Dutch apple pie. And here's the surprise. It is also going to be the crust. So you're gonna have yumminess on top and yumminess on the bottom. What? Can you believe it? All right, I think it's pretty well mixed together for that crumbly goodness. All right, so now that I have that mixed, I already have my oven preheated at 350, so I have that ready to roll. I'm gonna get my pie plate. They want an ungreased pie pan. Today I'm using a tin, because I'm actually making this pie for a veterans dinner that my husband and his 8th grade class every year now, except for COVID, they do a veterans meal on a Sunday close to Veterans Day for the veterans in our church. And he needs more pies, so I'm making him a pie for that meal. because the veterans tend to like pie. So they're getting Dutch apple. This veterans dinner is really nice. What I'm doing as I'm talking right now is I am just putting this crumble into the pie tin, and I'm just patting it in to form the crust. And then when I have whatever I have left over is going to be the crumble for the top. So it said to use like a 9-inch pie tin. So this veterans dinner is for the veterans and whatever family they would like to come and eat with them. We have people, the 8th grade class, they supply lasagnas and garlic bread, and we have salad and some toppings for the salad, and we have desserts. So the 8th grade class helps get all those supplies, and then the day of the dinner, the 8th graders are the ones that are serving them. So as they come in, you know, they welcome them, and they'll sit down, and the 8th graders will bring them their dinner and keep serving them their coffee and everything. It's a really nice day, and it's great to see them interacting with each other. And then a lot of times you see the veterans and their families sitting at tables with other veterans sharing some of their stories. So that's a really cool event that we have going on. So it's a nice time, a good thing to do. And it's all free for them. Okay, so I think my pie crust is just about all patted in. I'm gonna add a little bit more. Like I said, whatever I don't use for the crust is going to be used for the crumble on top. So everything will get used. I want to make sure that I've got enough around the top so I can flute my edges. I always flute them the same way. I've just read something the other day about different ways to do it, but you know, you can't teach an old dog new tricks, because I do it the same way all the time, even though I was reading about a new way to do it, because now I totally forgot. All right. Today when I yelled quiet on the set, because that's what I do before I do all my videos, my dog, of course, is not cooperating. I don't know if you can hear him chewing on his bone. Right, Tater? Are you going to come over and see? You think? You taking a bone break? You think my stuff is going to be tastier than your bone? Well, Tates, we got to flute our edges now. So I put my fingers through, and I push between two fingers to make the edges look pretty. What do you think? Is it going to be pretty? I'm not going to show it to you because you will bite it. Right? We don't want any bites out of the pie. I don't think the veterans would like you to eat their pie. All right. Pie crust made. Beautiful. Check it out. There's the crust and the fluted edges. Okay. Next, let me wipe my hands off a little bit, clean them up. Clean hands. All right. Are you keeping everybody mesmerized over there, Tates? Okay, so the next thing is the apples that we're going to put on the inside. And The one thing I forgot to get out is my saucepan, so let me grab that. Grabbing my saucepan, it has to be kind of big. I'm thinking I need a bigger one. Alright, so I'm going to use this one and hope that it is big enough. I don't know. Alright, in here, I need to put, why is my thing not moving? There we go. My sugar, 2/3 cup of sugar. So here's my big sugar. 2/3, that's a strange amount. But we got it. Put 2/3 cup of sugar in there. We need 3 tablespoons of cornstarch. Here's my cornstarch. And grab my tablespoon. I need 3 tablespoons. 1, 2, 3. And cornstarch is gonna thicken everything up so our pie is not runny. And then we need our water, 1 1/4 cup of cold water. We gotta make sure it's cold. So we want everything to come together nicely. So here's 1 cup. And now I need 1/4 cup. Perfect. I'm gonna mix that all around. Get this turned on. Of course, I don't want the front, I want the rear. Turn it on. All right. So I have in here my sugar, some water and cornstarch. And I need to stir that up, and I need to bring it to a boil, and then once it comes to a boil, I'm going to cook it for another 2 or 3 minutes until it thickens. And then we have the next part with putting our apples in and some vanilla. So I will show you what it looks like after I've cooked it for when it comes to a boil, so you can see what it looks like. Right now, it's just this milky white color, and it's very liquidy. So I will come back when it's at the consistency that we need. All right, so here is what it looks like. It's very clear looking and thick. That's exactly what we need. So turn off my burner, take it off the burner. And now I just have to put my apples, 4 cups of apples in here, and a teaspoon of vanilla. And that's all it calls for with this sugary, cornstarchy stuff and a teaspoon of vanilla. 4 cups of apples. But you're thinking, but it's apple pie, where's the cinnamon flavor? I thought of that too. So I'm gonna add a little bit of my ground cinnamon. Ooh, I probably put a little much, but it'll be fine. All right. Oh, it smells really good with the cinnamon though. All right, so you stir up this mixture, get your apples coated really well. So I used 3 good size apples to get my 4 cups. And I peeled them, sliced them thin. I went to Edward's Orchard yesterday and I got some apples from their orchard. Some, I think they were like John Gold or something like that. I don't know, but they were tasty. They're a little on the tart side, which are perfect for baking. and they're fresh apples from the orchard. Can't get any better than that. All right, so this smells good with my cinnamon and my vanilla in here. And it's all, the apples are coated really nicely. I don't know if you can see that. Probably not. All right, so now I'm gonna put it into my delicious crust, crumbly crust. So let's put that in my crust, all the apples, the crust, which I haven't baked yet. So get everything in your crust. Spread it around so you don't have any gaps. Of course, when I stopped talking, thankfully Tater stopped chewing on his bone, as you guys can hear the ambiance in the background of the chewing of the bone. All right, now what I need to put in there is the crumble on the top, because it's Dutch apple pie, which means it has crumble on the top. I don't know why that's Dutch. I don't know. So now I'm just going to use my hand and put all of this delicious crumble. I want to make sure the whole thing is covered with this stuff, because I think that's the best part. Get it all covered. Gets a little messy, but you know, cooking can be messy. That's what some things are the best. All right, get all my apples covered. And voila, it is good. Just like being creation. It is good. All right, so what I'm gonna do, here is the pie, and I'm gonna put it on a baking sheet because sometimes it tends, I have it a little filled, a little bit more than maybe it should, which is fine because I like a nice thick pie. But I'm gonna put it on a baking pan so it doesn't run over in my oven, because nobody wants that burnt smell in their oven. So I'm gonna put it on a baking pan so if it runs over, it gets on the oven. I'm gonna bake it for 40 minutes and then I will bring it out so you can see the golden deliciousness when it's done. The pie is now out of the oven, and look at this golden deliciousness. And of course, I'm not going to cut into it because I'm saving it for tomorrow for the veterans dinner. But you can just smell, smell-o-vision would be great because it has that sweet and cinnamony smell. I'm so glad I added the cinnamon. And the thing I do when I'm checking it, I have this knife over here and I just poke it in there so I'm sure that my apples are soft. If it would come out, and I could be able to tell if some of them are hard, but they all feel really soft. So it'll be perfect for them tomorrow. And make sure you guys thank your veterans, maybe make them a Dutch apple pie.